Welcome to the Unraveling Achiever, the podcast for the person who's done everything right and is now questioning what that even means. I'm Angela McKay, former SVP of HR turned intuitive career coach and soul reading practitioner. I help accomplished folks like you to stop defaulting to what looks good and start building what feels true. Because you don't have to turn your life upside down. You just need to point your achiever energy toward a soul led career and life you'll love. Every episode, I tune into the energy of what's showing up for my clients and community and share what needs to be heard. No bypassing the mess, just honest guidance for the unraveling that changes everything. Let's get into it. When tuning into the community to decide which topic most wanted to be received, what came through was this. You have an idea and it's stuck, and you've been keeping it stuck. It's the idea that never gets to see the actual light of day. The energy of the idea itself is what I'm tapping into, not the person who has the idea, not the future version who has executed it, but the idea that's been sitting in your head, your notebook, your notes app for months or years that you keep working on or thinking about, but never actually bring to life. That idea is surrounded by unrealized potential, a dream that stays a dream, a thing that wants to be born but keeps getting pushed down. It's being pained by overthinking. It's feeling like an impulse that doesn't get to become real. It's like the idea has a consciousness and it wants to exist. It's calling to you, but you keep researching, planning, perfecting it in your mind, and it never gets to actually be. Perhaps it's the business you've been quote unquote working on for 2 years, or the book you're going to write, or the career pivot that you're getting ready for, the side project that's almost ready. I'm asking that idea, that dream, that calling, that thing that wants to exist, what does it want you to know? I'm tuning into the energy of the idea, as well as using tarot to support the messages that I receive while tapping into that energy. Before I get into the messages, I will say this. The overall tone of what I'm perceiving and what I'm receiving is that this is not to do with the things outside of you, the external pieces. There might be a lot of you that's wrapped up in the external pieces of how would this actually work, or it can't work, or it would be too tough to put this together. But the messages that I'm inside of as I'm tuning into this are all internal. So we're taking our focus off of, I can't do this for this reason outside of me. And instead, this is a real recalibration of you in relation to the idea, because that is where the sticking point is. That is why this idea has yet to really see the light of day. It's stuck because you're both the creator and the obstacle for this idea. You're trying to bring it to life, but then you're also standing in the way of it really being born and seeing the light of day. So I received 3 messages for you, and here's what came through. The first message is being supported by the Ace of Cups in reverse. Cups being our emotion, intuition, relationship suit. Firstly, the message that the idea has for you is a healthy dose of self-compassion. Bringing something to life is not necessarily an easy task. You've been delivered this spark. It's been sitting with you for a while. Perhaps you've researched and you've planned and you've kept it around, but it hasn't ever really gone anywhere from there because it gets to the point where you hit a real action point next. So you've got the researching, planning, perfecting in your mind, but then there's that action step that you need to take. The idea can see that this is a tough step. So it's standing right there with you, recognizing that it's difficult to then flip that switch and let it be something that is starting to be created outside of you, not just inside of you. It feels so much safer for you when it's inside of you and you're researching, planning, perfecting in your mind. And then as you approach the point where you need to flip the switch and let part of it be outside of you, That's where a lot of our fear comes in. Fear that it won't work out, fear that it won't be as good as it is in your head, fear that you'll fail or you'll be judged or you'll be seen. And when contending with all of those fears, it's then really easy to take this idea and just let it sit aside. So the idea can see that struggle. It understands that struggle. And it just asks that you hold yourself in compassion through the transition of taking it from inside of you to outside of you. But importantly, that you please do that, that you don't give yourself so much compassion that you keep the idea where it is. It really does want to see the light of day. It really does want to be born. So hold yourself in compassion during that process, but not so much that you don't let the idea be born. Also, the Ace of Cups reversed can suggest a connection to your subconscious mind, your intuition, your direction. So this message is a little affirmation and support from the idea to you that it's not from nowhere. It's not frivolous. It is, in fact, meant for you. This idea is meant for you. You are on the right track. So don't worry that it's out of left field and that it's not the direction that you're meant to go. Acknowledge that this idea is calling to you specifically for a reason. And because it's yours and it's meant for you, the idea just really wants you to embrace it. Rather than look at it sometimes, walk away, overthink it, rethink it, just take it. Trust that it's meant for you. And don't let it just continue to slip through your fingers or be the thing that you're trying to grab onto and then keep letting go of. That process is wearing on you and it's frustrating your idea. The second message is supported by the Five of Wands reversed. The idea can see that you are concerned about what people might think about it and what their opinions will be of it. Sometimes when we're in creation mode, we don't want to tell people about what it is that we're thinking about or what it is that we're creating because we just really don't want to hear their opinion about it. Because they might have something negative to say that then takes the wind out from under our sails. And there's an element of truth to that. When you are building and creating, you want to make sure that you're remaining really in tune with what it is that you're doing and why it is that you're doing it. Subjecting it to the opinions of others too soon can make you start to question yourself because you really haven't built that foundation underneath you. You really want to have that foundation underneath you and your conviction about your idea before you put it in a place for others to reflect on it and give their opinions on it. When it does come to the point where that is happening, just make sure that you're remaining true to yourself and to your idea. You can use other people's words to kind of inform where you are and where it is that you want to go, but not to decide for you. So you can take their words into consideration, but make sure you are using you as the filter for their words so that your idea is still remaining true to the intent of what it is and why you want it to be. However, the bigger part of this message is, again, it's on the inner side. So when you think about what those people outside might have to say, what their opinions will be, what their judgments will be, when you're really thinking about that, I want you to take those and bring them home to yourself and your view. Those phrases are coming to you for a reason. Those things that you fear they might say, you really have to work on your own self-worth, self-awareness, self-love, self-understanding to build up what it is that you need to build up so that when the idea is outside of you, you can remain true to what it is that you want. Here's how to work with that. Those things that you think they're going to say, instead, bring those in as corners to shine a flashlight on so that you can build up the inner awareness to be resilient to those ideas. For example, if you're worried that someone will say, "That'll never work," ask yourself, where do I believe that? Where have I already told myself that? What part of me agrees with that statement? Or if you're worried someone will say, "Who do you think you are to do this?" Ask yourself, where did I learn to need permission? Where have I internalized the belief that I'm not allowed to try new things? Really, what the idea is trying to get to in this message is it wants to ensure that it's not going to be stuffed back down if you feel a judgment or opinion coming, or that it's not going to be dramatically altered because of your reactions to someone's judgment or opinion. It doesn't mind being altered due to your alignment with your head and heart, but it does mind being dramatically altered because of a voice outside of you that then made you have a reaction and then changed something about it. So it really just wants for you to deal more with your inner conflict so that you are well prepared for any conflict that might happen once you flip the switch on the idea. You have your own inner voices to contend with, and those are the ones that are keeping your idea from seeing the light of day. It has less to do with the voices that you're worrying about once it's out there, and more to do with how you have internalized voices like that as your own, preventing you from making the moves that you are meant to make. Your own harsh judgments are in the way more than external judgments will ever be. The third message is supported by the Emperor in reverse. This is highlighting the excessive control that you are placing around the idea. When we are afraid of how something might work out, when we really want for something to work out well, we tend to exhibit a lot of control around it. We want to make sure that it goes the way that we want it to go. However, that is nearly impossible to do, if not totally impossible to do. You are not going to be able to control every element of this, just as you are not going to be able to control every element of anything. Wanting to make sure that it's been really well thought out, really well researched, really well planned, really well perfected in your mind before you let it see the light of day, it's not serving you, and it's definitely not serving your idea. That process for you is what is keeping it in the dark. Here's what needs to happen. You're going to have to lessen that element of control for this idea to be born. And then understand that it's going to be a process of action and reflection, action and reflection. So it's not like the idea wants to just go out there with no boundaries, no barriers, and just have to make do on its own. That's not it. Instead, it's you flipping the switch so this idea can see the light of day, and then you and it together will do something and then reflect and adjust, and do something and reflect and adjust. That is going to be the process. There is no, this is perfect. I feel great. Let me flip the switch, and now the light is on it, and we're ready to go. It doesn't work that way. And you thinking that it works that way is just your way of protecting yourself from feeling or experiencing something that you don't want to feel or experience. But you're also assuming that will be what you feel or that will be your experience. We have to drop the assumptions and we have to loosen that excessive control. Let's look at that research, planning, refining, and perfecting. Researching. Yes. Do just enough to know what to do next, not what to do from here till eternity. Research just enough to know what to do next. Have your idea, have your vision, and then research enough to have 1, 2, or 3 next best steps in front of you. Planning. Yes. Again, we have this vision, and then we have a plan in front of us. But again, only plan for so much because you cannot have a plan from here till forever. And your plan will change. We have to stay flexible. Excessive control doesn't allow for flexibility, it's inflexibility. So we have to plan just enough and then understand that this plan is going to adjust and grow as we go because action and reflection and adjustment, that process. Refining, yes, that happens through the process of action and reflection. And then perfecting. Drop perfecting. Perfection will not happen. Perfecting is the thing that you put on that then stops you from making any more moves. It keeps you in this really uncomfortable comfort zone because you're trying to protect yourself from the experience of action and adjustment. Instead, flip yourself into a little bit more balanced and strategic mode and mindset. Let your idea see the light of day and understand that you will have the strength, you will have the leadership, you will have the tools that you need in the moment to decide what is next for that idea as you are letting it see the light of day. Your excessive control is keeping it in the dark. You'll notice that all three cards that I spoke about came to me in reversed position. That lines up with that energy that I was receiving and perceiving that this is a lot of internal work. This has way less to do with the resources or perceived lack of resources outside of you, and more to do with how it is and why it is that you are holding on to this idea and not taking the steps to bring it forward, to let it be born. Tuning into the energy of the idea, just as I start wrapping up here, it really is viable. It really is meant for you. It really does want to be born. It can see where your hesitations are. It doesn't disregard them in any way, but it is asking for you to now work with it in a serious way, to get out of your head, out of the notebook, out of the notes app, and into the real world. And to understand that that can be in small ways. So this isn't huge. It's not asking for a disruption or a big announcement or fanfare. This can be in small actions of just really seeing it, taking it seriously, and then bringing small actions into the real world that then allow this idea to see the light of day where it really wants to be. Those are the three messages from the idea that's been sitting with you, waiting to be born. Message one, hold yourself in compassion, but don't let it keep you stuck. The transition from inside your head to outside in the real world can feel hard. The idea sees that, but it's asking you to be compassionate with yourself through that process, not so compassionate that you never take the step. And know this, the idea is meant for you. It's not frivolous. It's calling to you for a reason. Message two, your own inner voices are keeping it in the dark. You're worried about what other people will say, but the real issue is what you are already saying to yourself. Those fears about external judgment, they're reflections of your own harsh inner voices. Deal with your own inner conflict so you're prepared for whatever comes once the idea is out there. Your own harsh judgments are in the way more than external judgments will ever be. And message three, loosen your grip. Your excessive control is keeping the idea in the dark. You're trying to perfect it before it's born, but perfection doesn't exist. Let it see the light of day and then work with it through action and reflection, action and reflection. Research just enough for the next step, plan just enough, and stay flexible. Drop perfecting. Let your idea be born messy. That's how it becomes real. The idea is viable, it's meant for you, it wants to be born, and it's just asking you to work with it now in small, real life ways to finally let it see the light of day. If what you heard today resonated, I'd love to support you in going deeper. Soul Reading is a 75-minute one-on-one session where I open your Akashic records, which is like the library of you, and help you reconnect with what your soul already knows about your path, your purpose, and what's next. You can learn more and book at angelaMckayllc.com/soul-reading. And if this episode landed for you, subscribe or follow so you don't miss what's coming next. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Thanks for being here, and until next time, take care.